Hey, everybody, and thank you for joining us. This is AAG episode 266, talking about Polkadot refs today. I think we're going to have a very good time. Welcome to everybody on the panel. And a big shout out to Rocco for covering the show last week. I watched it, second time he was doing it for us, and he did an excellent job. If you're a Spanish speaker, make sure you tune into AAG's En Español on Fridays at 5 p.m. UTC. That's on the Coos ESPN. I think it's also on the Polkadot Spanish account. So do check that out. And thanks again for Rocco and the crew for holding it down for us there. We're going to start with the state of the Treasury, which is looking okay today. We are down 120,000 dot, bringing that pile to 28.25 million. We are up 390,000 USDT to 3.75 million, but down 1.01 million USDC to 1.91 million. That's the state of the Treasury. We're missing our friends Funky and Limo today. Maybe Funky will be coming around soon. But we're going to jump right into the show here with a little note from a new DV. The Nouns DAO group wants to explain what's going on with their. I think you guys got the 200,000 DV Lite. Is that correct?
All right, we're doing something janky here.
Oh, right.
Man,
Oh, sorry.
light. It is light. It is light. I was gonna let Manny answer, but he's on my mobile because he is in Russia and he's geo blocked on Google Meet. So
Right.
we're running that live on the air.
That sounds cool. Okay, so let's try to set this up right now. We have somebody who can't connect. I mean,
Wait,
talk about the need for Web3 here.
wait. Manny, can you hear me now? Are you good to? Can you talk? It looks like you're muted on my Zoom,
Okay,
Manny.
we're getting
Yeah,
there.
All right.
there we
Yeah.
go.
Are you guys able to hear me?
Yeah, we
Thank you.
can, dude.
Thanks, John. Thank you very much, guys. And I'm sorry for this inconvenience. Let me just share my screen. Are you guys able to see my screen?
No, I don't think we're going to be able to do that.
I'll go ahead and share my
Oh,
screen.
yeah. So let's
Here.
try. Yeah.
This is great. We're problem solving
No, we're
here.
good. We're good.
Okay, how about now? We good?
Yeah, yeah, we can. That's cool.
Great. All right, Manny.
All right. Thank you, guys. So let me show you how GovernNoun actually works in practice. So we've been talking about GovernNoun for quite a while, but there was nothing actually that we were able to show before. So we're starting here at the ENS records page for .governnoun.eth. Now what you're looking at right here is essentially our decentralized identity. So see this content hash field. This is really the magic behind the whole system. This IPFS hash points to our entire front end interface, which means nobody can take this down, nobody can censor it. It's permanently accessible as long as IPFS exists. I hope it does. So let's see how it's going to be when you tap on. Here we go. Boom. So this takes us to .governnoun.eth. So what's happening here is the .limo gateway is resolving that IPFS hash we just saw and serving the actual GovernNoun interface. So this entire front end, what you're looking at, is coming straight from the IPFS, not from any traditional server that we control. So here what you're actually seeing, this is GovernNoun agent interface. Users can come here, let's see here, and directly lobby the agent about upcoming proposals. See this input field, anyone can submit their argument for or against the specific proposals. Every single interaction gets recorded to IPFS, completely transparent and completely auditable. So this agent shows its current stance on active proposal based on all the data it's collected. You can see here it's aggregating sentiment from multiple sources. As for now, we're getting scrapped data from Polk.
Just
Hey,
one
Manny.
quick interruption, Manny. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry, but I think we should be seeing something different on screen to
Yeah, actually, it
support what
didn't.
you're saying a little bit better.
That's my fault. When I shared, I only shared one tab.
That's cool.
So we share this window. Okay, here we go.
Okay, can you roll? Okay, can you roll back a little bit, Manny? Here and look, absolutely no problem here, but maybe just roll back a little bit and tell us what you were saying since the DNS part, because we didn't get to see anything after that.
So this is the content hash of
Yeah.
governance.eth. The moment you tap on it, this is what it shows. So this takes us to .governance.eth limo. So what's happening here is the limo gateway is resolving that IPFS hash we just saw and serving the actual governance interface, as you see. So what you're seeing, this is the governance agent interface, and users can come here and directly lobby the AI agent about upcoming proposals. This is the input field. As you can see, every single interaction gets recorded to IPFS, completely transparent and auditable. I was chatting with this agent. So I asked, how will you vote for this proposal? And this is the information summary of the proposal that it gave me. And then I asked, I just want to know yes or no. So it says, yay. The reasoning behind the proposal enhances blah, blah. So this is one of the example. At the moment, we're scrapping data from Polk Assembly and Subsquare. So let me move to here, Polk Assembly. So, and this is the governance profile. We started voting September 1st, and here. And you can see every single vote. Here, just a second. It's made each vote here, whether it's yay or no, nay, has been executed based on aggregated community sentiment. Click on any of these votes. Let's see, maybe here. It will show all sort of information that you may need. Moving back to this. Click any of these votes and you will see the proposal detail, the conviction level used, and there's always a link to IPFS hash showing exactly what data influenced that decision. This one, as you can see, there's always a hash.
Manny, I'm trying to follow what you're clicking here because you're not sharing your screen. I'm sharing my screen. But yeah, I can see. We went into referendum just so we see. We went into referendum 1732, for example.
1732. Let's go to 1732. Here.
Second.
Are you guys able to see my screen?
No, we can see my screen. So this was actually, I have here 1749.
So
let me check.
So I have a question. I think what would be really interesting to know here is how does the govern noun come to consensus? Like what inputs are we having here? Who's participating? Like why do you come to these conclusions? How does that work?
The technicalities. The question is how the sentiment. Is this the question? Is this the right way to address your answer?
How do you come to the conclusion of what you vote on?
Okay, so let's take this one as an example. If you are able to see the screen.
Yeah.
And right.
1732. I'll go to 1732. There you go. Reference update. Here we go. So now I'm in the governnoun.eth, the referendum 1732. If we go to the top, we can see the information. This is an AI summary synopsis of the ref.
Okay.
Up, and then we go down and we can see, what the different interactions have been with the bot and what the votes have been so far.
How do you get to interact with the bot?
Great. So
you can just chat. There's an input. Yeah.
Now there's for some reason on my screen, Manny, I'm not seeing the chat box. That's where there's a little confusion here. I don't know why.
Are you using phone or are you using computer?
No, I'm using my computer. It's probably because I haven't connected my wallet.
Yes, wallet connect is the must.
So yeah, of course. Once you can see here, connect Polkadot wallet, and then there's. I'd encourage anybody to play around with this. Once I connect my wallet, I can see you'll see a box at the bottom where you can chat with the bot and gather any information you'd like, and also lobby the bot. So you can say, I like this because XYZ, or this doesn't make sense because of, it doesn't meet these criteria.
So I just debate, and then what is the weight of my vote? Just if I have a Polkadot wallet, I have
So
I have
that's the
weight.
next piece. Manny, you can maybe talk about the delegation process.
Okay.
Yes. So before I jump into your question, let me answer on how we're scrapping the data and what platforms we're using for now. So at the moment, we're running scrappers on two main sources, Polka Assembly and Subsquare. And we're actively scrapping various Polkadot forums for community sentiments. So the scrappers, they run continuously feeding data into our sentiment analysis, which was your question on how the agent is voting and evaluating. So what we're doing, we're using different LLM models running on decentralized compute. So every piece of data gets weighted based on the factors like account reputation, how recent the comment is, which platform it came from. Now, moving to one more question that you've had about the sentiment analysis. So because we're at the moment on a very early stage, V1, which is why we have in our roadmap that what you're seeing today is just the beginning, and we're expanding to pull in data from everywhere in the Polkadot community. Twitter integration is coming up coming months. We'll be monitoring governance, KOLs, proposal discussion, TG, metrics, even Facebook groups. And we're also building out more sophisticated sentiment analysis. So right now it's relatively straightforward, positive, negative, or neutral. But and this sentiment is based off of, as I mentioned, your reputation, the recent comment, and what platform it came from. So what we're building and training the models to understand is the sarcasm to weigh the technical argument differently, from general opinion to recognize when someone's making a really well-researched point versus just expressing a gut feeling. So the governance logic itself is evolving too. Right now, the agent votes when it hits the certain confidence threshold. So we're building in more nuanced decision-making, understanding proposal dependencies for recognizing when proposals might conflict with each other, even predicting long-term impacts based on historical data. About the delegation, I would say there are three compelling reasons to delegate to govern now. One, your DOT is already voting, just not how you think. If you're not voting, you're essentially voting no on every treasury proposal by default. Your passive DOT makes it harder for good proposal to pass. Govern now fixes it, so your token starts supporting proposal the community actually wants, for example. And basically, we're using a mirroring system where your token holding remains in your wallet untouched. And it's a mirroring system that we use. So what we do, we catch the discussion, and Polkadot ecosystem itself is widely spread, so many platforms and scattered data. And this will be one central point where every proposal can live on, every data can be open source. And what we're thinking of eventually in a roadmap is those who will be giving delegate access to the agent will be able to get some sort of badge or news collection that is going to be on Polkadot in upcoming months that we're planning, where you'll be able to submit a proposal or so on, as long as you have this badge.
Okay, we're running out of time here, but I just want one clear answer to this one question here. This is an autonomous agent who is scraping data from the main forums and anybody who chats with it, but there's no privileged user here. It doesn't take somebody who delegates opinion more than anybody else, right? It's reasoning by itself, or attempting to.
You can actually lobby it with your reasoning.
Just to be clear, though, anybody can lobby it with a Polkadot account.
Anybody can lobby.
Okay, that's all I need to know. Okay, Zoe has a question.
And it's open source lobbyable.
Yeah. Okay, Zoe has a question.
Hey guys, thanks for the demo. Very cool. Quick question. I think currently it doesn't take into account replies to comments. I just open also the Claris proposal 1717. And when I go into connect to my wallet, I only see how you should vote on it. It only actually repeats comments that has been put, but I replied to a lot of comments on this proposal where I explained a lot of things, and the govern noun agent actually doesn't take this into consideration in its own reply. So this is maybe some technical feedback that could be considered, because we make a lot of effort in commenting. People comment, give feedback, and then the proposers actually try to explain things, and it doesn't seem that this agent actually takes this into consideration. And for now, yeah.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
No, it looks like a repetitive reply of previous votes, right? So there's nothing new, and some of these votes or the comments that has been put out by this agent were actually explained in previous comments.
You know what's interesting is go ahead.
Manny, go ahead.
Okay, so for example, if govern noun continuously scrapes and analyzes new comments right up until it executes the vote, the agent doesn't lock in its decision early. It keeps monitoring Polk assembly and subsquare for new arguments and sentiments. So what you mentioned, it takes time for it to process.
So what you're saying is basically the bot was set up after this ref, so it hasn't taken any new
Yes, it's still
information
scraping the data. Yeah, yeah.
It does scrape replies, because Zoe was saying it doesn't, but you think it does? Or you're saying
I mean,
it
I
does?
can't see them there. I can only see comments from like 2 days ago, but I don't see replies from myself 2 weeks ago. So, which would influence the decision that this agent would do, right? So
the feedback, Manny, is replies to comments or the question.
right. And then overall, I mean, it only it gets a more precise reply or actually vote the more people use it. Is this correct? Because for now, it only actually repeats what's stated in comments. So if you spam a proposal, making a lot of negative comments, this agent would be influenced and would also vote nay.
Mm-hmm. There is something I wanted to add here. Actually, it does. So govern noun keeps analyzing new comments until it votes. So when you say you were commenting, did you actually vote as well? And comments can change its decision.
Replies
of comments. This replying to a comment. Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna address this issue on the forum probably by tomorrow, because this is something that I need to check internally.
Okay. All right.
It should be on IPFS to check it out. Yeah.
We're a little over time here, but it's an interesting thing. This whole AI thing is interesting and slightly stressful. But I noticed the CyberGov, the other AI voter, it doesn't go into links, so it's missing context from links, which is very well, it's just version 0, but it's kind of inhibiting. Yeah.
One thing Manny kind of glossed over, or he mentioned it, but just to reiterate, there will be badges distributed to people who delegate to the govern noun bot, and those will go in when the collection goes live in Polkadot. Go into a badge and additional features and fun things that will be released whenever for those who participate. So keep that in mind.
Okay, very cool. All right, thanks for the presentation. We're watching the whole AI agent space very closely. But yeah, it's very cool. Been seems very capable so far. But here's the thing with govern noun: if you wanted to vote a certain way, spend time lobbying it, and perhaps you could change its reasoning mind. All right,
but I can't.
Yeah,
you can't. Real quick to clarify, Manny, you can't just spam. Like, it'll take into consideration if one person is making a whole bunch of comments. It's not gonna overweight that person's opinion just because they comment a million times, right?
Yes, because there are a few factors that matters, like your reputation, how recent the comment was, and which platform it came from.
Okay.
So yeah, it matters.
Cool.
Thank you very much, man. I'm glad we could work it out. We're gonna move on now. We don't have Max with us, okay? So we jump right into Subwallet. Ryan Din, back on the show, looking for 795,500 USDC for what is this sub wallet August 2024 to March 2025. Not many votes in so far. We're sitting at about 50-50 here. Ryan, welcome back to the show. We're going to put 8 minutes on the clock, only 8 minutes, and you take it away.
Okay, thank you, Zai. Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here to share more about our proposal. So we don't have much time, so let me share that screen quickly. Okay, so I would like to walk through the proposal really quick. So actually, this one is a resubmit from our previous proposal. Just a moment, what happened? Okay, what changes that we have made in this proposal? So there are two main changes compared to the last proposal. So the first one is we remove kind of the scope of work, kind of trim down the scope of work. So for this one, the unified account feature is not included. So as a result, the budget is reduced by I think 26%. So right now it's only 795K compared to more than 1 million before. Okay, so what is the scope of work in this proposal? We have the details here. Actually, in here we have the number of the transactions about user space, but we will go through it a bit later. So for this one, we have many amazing things like the unified address formats. So before the users need to manage their different address formats for different parachains in the Polkadot ecosystem, but with this one, they can use only one unified address format, starting with one, similar to Polkadot address to use on other parachain. Actually, this is a very good initiative from the UX Bounty. And then we have the on-ramp orchestration with mail. So for this one, mail have kind of orchestration of many different major on-ramp providers such as Bansa, Coinbase, Binance, Transact, PayPal, Unlimited, and we integrate a mail to provide one seamless and unified screen for users to buy token with fiat. This is also another great initiative by Velocity Labs. So I think Nico and the team has done a great job here. And then we have the off-ramp feature using Transact as a provider. So users can off-ramp their tokens via Visa, MasterCard, or SIPR bank transfer. And also we have major UX improvements like the one-click cross-chain liquid staking. So for example, the user, if you have dot on the relay chain, you can do one-click liquid staking into Bifrost using sub-wallet without having to manually XAM your dot from the relay chain to Bifrost and then do liquid staking. But with this feature, you just do it in only one single click. And then we have the custom gas token feature. So it allows the users to do like transaction, do swap on hydration or on the asset swap, and they can pay flexible gas fee using different tokens depending on their choice. This is also very convenient for the users, especially if they don't have the native dot in their wallet. And this is also a very major feature, actually major set of features. So this is related to like cross-chain connectivity between Polkadot and other ecosystem. So we have like one-click cross-chain swap between Polkadot and EVM. Like you can swap dot to stablecoins on Ethereum or to stablecoin on Arbitrum. You can also cross-chain swap DOT from the relay chain to ETH on EVM as well within only one single click. And then we have one-click cross-chain swap for DOT native to Tau native on BitTensor. This is also a very interesting feature for the user, especially for users from Tau ecosystem, if they want to like explore the Polkadot ecosystem. So imagine if you have your Tau token, you can swap it natively inside the wallet with one click to DOT, and then you can explore the Polkadot ecosystem. And then we have the support for more than 200 pairs on Hydration within sub wallet. So only in a few clicks you can do the swap in there without having to like go to Hydration G app and connect the wallet and then do the swap in the Hydration D app. And then we also have the one-click cross-chain swap between Polkadot relay chain and then Hydration and then Polkadot Access Hub. So imagine if you have your DOT on the relay chain and you want to swap it to HDX on Hydration and do a lending on the Hydration D apps. So normally you will need to do XCM transfer from Polkadot relay chain to Hydration and then do some swapping to HDX and then do lending in there. But with this one, we bundle those steps into only one single click, so it provides user with a very seamless and convenient for them to use. And it also the same for between Polkadot relay chain and Polkadot Access Hub, because right now Parity is actually trying to promote Polkadot Access Hub as the liquidity center for the Polkadot ecosystem. So when the users want to swap their DOT from the relay chain to stable coins on Access Hub, for example, they can also do it with only one single click inside the wallet. And yeah, we have other features and development, and also continuously kind of maintenance for the wallet. Okay, I'm gonna spend a few more minutes to talk about the traction.
We have 40 seconds.
Okay, so in the traction in here, I have the detailed page about that.
Yes.
So we have the official data from browser extension on Chrome, and then on Google Play and on iOS. So in total, we have more than 500K installed on browser extension. And normally we have 300,000 weekly active users in the past 1 year. At all-time high, we have almost 400,000 weekly active users. On the Google Play, we have more than 600,000 total downloads. And we have at the all-time high, we have about 261,000 active devices. And also on iOS, we have more than 600,063 total downloads. Yeah, so that's the details about the user space, the traction that we have added in here. So if you guys want to have a deeper look, feel free to check it in the proposal.
Yeah, that's the good stuff right there. Okay, Ryan, we're at time. Thank you very much for the presentation. And we'll, like I said, this is pretty early on this ref here, but we'll check it out next week and see where we're at. Currently 48.3% in favor and 3, almost 4 days into the decision period. Ryan, thanks very much for being here.
Yeah, thank you. Let me know if you guys have any other questions about our proposal.
All right. Thank you very much. We're going to now move on to, Jason. Mr. Novak, welcome back to the show. Referendum 1749, Polkadot Community Foundation election and appointment of 2 DOT directors. This is very interesting development. Currently waiting for the decision deposit here and no votes happening yet. But Jason, we'll put 8 minutes on the clock. Why don't you introduce yourself to people who don't know, and we can hear a little bit about this ref.
Yeah, thanks, Jay. Good to see you. Good to be back. I'm Jason. I work with the Polkadot Community Foundation. I was here, what, a year and a half ago, something like that?
Yeah.
For the original proposal to create the Polkadot Community Foundation. That passed, the foundation's been up and running. And for those that don't know, its role is as a legally compliant counterparty for various activities that Polkadot community may want to take off-chain, right? So, unlike some other entities in the space like Parity or the Web3 Foundation, Polkadot Community Foundation is explicitly designed to take direction from OpenGov, and it gives certain assurances to that effect. So, it's been up and running. It's been doing its thing. Recently got renewed for another year. One thing that the Polkadot Community Foundation features is a 5-member board, which includes 2 seats that can only be filled by OpenGov. Those 2 seats have been vacant this entire time. And the bylaws are such that anyone at any time can create an OpenGov proposal to nominate someone. And that initiative just has not been taken yet. And, hearing some feedback from the community, what this referendum is about is the Community Foundation itself trying to create a bit of a process and get the ball finally rolling on filling those seats. So what this does is say, hey, why don't we lay out a plan to do a little bit more of a coordinated effort of identifying who the community believes might be good nominees for these 2 directorships, and create an orderly process to sort through that and fill the seats. If this was rejected, the bylaws stand that this can be an ad hoc process. But I think it's really just a proposal of, hey, if everybody agrees with this way of coming together and adding a little more coordination to it, maybe that'll finally get us the momentum we need to identify people and fill the seats. So it proposes a little bit of extra process where there's a nomination form that you can find linked within the referendum text. One can submit nominations for these directorships. And the idea is to kind of use signaling from the community, use OpenGov votes to see if there are preferences for some of the nominees, and move forward with the top community nominated positions. There's a lot of clarity, I'd say, in this referendum of what the position entails and what a nominee or a candidate might consider before throwing their hat in the ring. One is that it is a paid position. According to the establishment of the Polkadot Community Foundation, all directors get paid $35,000 a year. It's a very part-time job. We try to talk a little bit about the time commitment in there, which of course is variable. People have to be available, but it's not a full-time thing. There is a staff to execute the business of the foundation. It does require KYCing to the other directors and the legal counsel of the Polkadot Community Foundation. There are some Cayman Islands requirements of being listed in some government documents as a director of the foundation. So, some people may feel differently about that suitability for themselves. And then it discusses a little bit what are the legal responsibilities and liabilities of serving. But all that aside, I think it's a really exciting and important position for some members of the community to hold. Really the purpose of it is one of the ultimate checks and transparency measures to ensure that the board of the Polkadot Community Foundation is doing is always acting within the community's delegated authority and managing the money and their activities on Polkadot and OpenGov's behalf appropriately. So I guess without having those board seats, there are potentially some conversations and some things that the community doesn't see the full extent of. And so this is a way to make sure that some people from within, who are aligned and supported and have support among the Polkadot community are always there and present to keep tabs on things. So yeah, we hope that that everyone appreciates this process, this initiative to try and finally fill these seats. We hope we get a good, healthy number of nominations, and that a couple of people are able to get through the process and take these roles.
Very, very thorough information here, and I think information that we didn't have or was not easy to find in the past. This is looking very good. Thank you, Jason. Lorena has a comment, a question here. We have 2.5 minutes left.
Right. Yes, thank you. Very interesting. I tried to read all the proposal. I want to try to understand this. All the requirement that you include for OpenGov and for candidates, they apply for all the 5 seats in the Polkadot Community Foundation. The payment are the same. The requirements are the same for each member of the board.
That's right. Yeah. So there are 5 seats. 3 of the seats are currently filled by professional fiduciaries who make a living out of helping to support legal entities like this one. The final 2 seats can only be filled by OpenGov. So those are vacant, and those 2 seats are the ones that that we're looking to fill from this process. All 5, whether they're the ones nominated by OpenGov or the professionals, all have the same requirements, the same responsibilities, the same compensation.
Tommy.
Hey, Jason, thank you for submitting this.
Hey, Tommy.
I think it's a bit unfortunate that it comes like roughly at the same time as 1737, because I think there might be a source for confusion.
Yeah.
So I would just ask that, however both of these are progressing, that you make sure that there can be clarity for the community what this means. If they're competing, maybe provide more clarity. And are they competing? Are they making different statements? Because when you have one solution, you just have to say, okay, this is going to be fine. But now, like, it's getting more complex for everyone. So I'm just asking you to make sure that people have clarity on the process.
Real quick, if I may provide context for people at home, there's another proposal right now proposed by the White Rabbit, recipient of DV Light, this cohort, and it's another offer for a process for bringing directors into the seat and taking them out. So yeah, Jason, if you want to speak to that real quick.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Tommy, you're absolutely right. 1737 came like without a prior discussion with the people involved with the Polkadot Community Foundation. That's fine. It's an open process. We're glad that White Rabbit wanted to get the ball rolling. I think he didn't know that this was already drafted and well underway and coming very soon. My take on it is that there's very little that is conflicting. I think the bylaws of the Community Foundation already say that anyone can put forth an OpenGov proposal to fill a seat. That process is, in effect and binding. What 1737 and what ours do is try to add a little momentum and clarity to encourage that to finally happen. Both are compatible with the bylaws. If you look at the bottom of ours, of 1749, you'll see that we do speak to that. So because 1737 came first, what we'll say is that anytime a proposal passes that meets the requirements of affecting the PCF will interpret that as the will of OpenGov. And I think what we should assume is that whichever one gets passed last is the latest and greatest instructions from OpenGov, and if there are any conflicts, they will supersede any prior ones. So we point out that, I think that if you look at 1737, it's much less prescriptive on some of these processes. So if both were to pass, I think the more prescriptive process in 1747 will be in effect and supersede. But at the end of the day, they're not in any kind of ideological conflict. I don't think they would represent a crisis of process here. So you're right, it does add a little confusion. It's not how you would draw it up if everything were controlled and in a lab, but that's not how governance works. And we're glad to see that we're not the only ones that are excited to get something going here.
Cool. Kudos to White Rabbit for actually taking the initiative in that void anyway. Jason, thank you for coming on. This looks very thorough. And yeah, thanks for doing it, actually, because those vacant seats have been a huge wasted opportunity, actually, on our side. So thanks for taking the initiative. We're out of time for this one, Jason. Maybe we'll see you again, but thank you for being here today. We're going to move on now to a small spender, Ref 1748. This is sponsorship by sponsorship Sub-Zero 2025. Okay, 57,540 USDC to sponsor devs, I think to make it Buenos Aires. Is that correct? Who do we have on the call to talk about this today? Adrian, I think. Lorena, you getting in there?
Yeah, with Lore.
All right.
How are you?
I'm good. 3 accounts voting on this so far. 211 dot on the I side. It's a good start. But maybe you could give us a little more information here. 8 minutes on the clock. Floor is yours.
Lore, if you want to start? Okay, so at the end, we're trying to push here like a really great initiative for the community, like the Web3 Foundation done in the past and the last year for the code was done. So right now we are trying to use this one for Sub-Zero Symbiosis as Buenos Aires. We want to sponsor around 40 community members and developers for the around the world to Argentina. We know Argentina is far away from everywhere, so we want to support at least to having more community members to the conference. And this great conference that is being hosted by Web0 and the amazing Latin team. So yes, we want to figure out that we have the forum post that we published the other day, and we received a really great feedback from the community regarding the amount initially proposed for Europe and for Americas. So in this proposal that we just launched, we updated this to Europe, like increased amount of money since at the end depends on where from Europe you fly. For example, I'm from Spain. It's not the same in Spain to Berlin, so it's kind of hard. But yeah, we try to increase this amount. And for the America side, we following the conversation as the last AAG, Lorena was there. We figured out that we have to focus more on the LATAM people, and so we increase the amount of people and the amount of money that will be reimbursed to these people to come to the Sub-Zero Symbiosis, right? So yeah, this is like a general info of the proposal and the updates being made right now. So yeah, happy to answer any question, or Lorena, if you want to follow up.
Yes, I would like to add related with that any of the community member could go to forum and post the proposal, and candidacy. They will have a ranking for different regions. So, and at the same time, as Adrian mentioned, we have 20 people for Americas, 5 from APAC, 5 from Africa, and 10 from Europe. That the idea is having people from all around the world, but please apply. We have until September 25, the first idea, if we have to extend it today, and we will decide the first week of October. The proposal say 12 because we should present all do all the work before be approved, if this is approved. So we cannot confirm the sponsorship until the proposal be approved, but all the process will be before.
Great. Hey, Angie.
Yeah, can you give us a little bit of, I think it sounds like a great idea. Can you give us a little bit of the nuance in terms of how people are chosen to attend?
Yes, it depends on, we have a very clear list of requirements. It depends on if this developer, technical or not technical, you have been a punctuation related if you are developer, you are PBA, alumni, if you are very active in the community, if you are content creator, it depends. That is why I want to emphasize which are the requirements, because it's very clear in forum and it's very clear in the proposal. Sorry, but if you're a good active member, if you are participate and if you are or want to create something in Jam or you're working in Polka VM, it depends on if you're technical or not technical person, you can apply. Of course, anyone can apply, okay? The thing is maybe the people that has more rank be in the better ranking will be selected. That is the idea. One point that is very clear and had to be clear is we cannot do anything related with visa. If any one of you need visa, we are not in, we cannot do anything, okay? So it's not our responsibility. Disclaimer.
Not in the business of Border Patrol. Okay, I just want to say real quick, I've seen some mock-ups for the Sub-Zero Symbiosis space. It is so cool. You're going to want to be a part of this live. Obviously, we're going to make it amazing for people who can't be there. But if you're planning to go, November 14th to 16th, if I'm not mistaken, and you don't think maybe you'd qualify for this program here, get your tickets now. I was actually surprised by the tickets were a little bit less than I expected, just because I got them so early. If you're planning to go, if you want to go, just book your tickets right now. If you need a little bit of help, this looks like a great initiative as well. We've done this in the past for the flagship events, and generally it gets the right people there. So thanks very much, guys, for doing this. Any other questions or comments? Angie, are you going to come, Angie?
I'm going to get my ticket right now, Jay. Thank you for the tip.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome.
I was just thinking, I want to put in a good for Ilya because he's coming from Indonesia and he
Ilya
didn't
coming?
think that he could afford.
Oh,
Well, he didn't think he could afford. Like it's a pretty long trip
from
and
there.
really
Of
expensive.
course, yeah.
But he's working so hard around the clock on Polkadot and gaming. So anyway, I just wanted to put in a good word for him too.
Okay, yeah, let's get him in the program. He would be amazing, of course. Max, you're going to be there. Florentina?
It's a long flight from Hong Kong, but yeah, I am planning to be there.
Amazing.
I would love to be there. I'm working on it. I will be applying for the sponsorship for sure.
Okay, nice. Yeah, Zoe, Spectra. Who's going? I'll just ask out. Who's going? Spectra, nice. John, are you coming down, John? Hell yeah. Okay, nice. Max, yes, sir. Oh, you're muted there, mate. Oh, I can't wait to hear you, but you're muted. Oh, you're muted there.
Still muted.
He's on a roll. We can't hear you, mate. Hey.
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
Yeah, I was just about to say that in all likelihood, I am coming to Buenos Aires, even though it's a really long flight. It's literally the other side of the world. Hong Kong and Buenos Aires is literally
Yes.
as far as you can go on the planet.
Yes. Okay, well, I hope to see as many people there as possible. Again, the venue is amazing. And then you have Dev Connect there. There's going to be a lot happening in the area. So if you want to hang out for a bit, Buenos Aires is a beautiful place. So I hope to see everybody there. Okay, thanks very much. Max, we're going to throw it to you now to touch on your mission to get opinion about this Polkadot VC bounty. We spoke a couple weeks ago about how, so far OpenGov is not really set up to be a VC. You're trying to change that. What has the progress been on this initiative?
Yeah, absolutely. So lots of progress. So I've been speaking to a lot of people here at the PBA. I'm still in Bali, by the way.
Cool.
And yeah, lots of good conversations here. Lots of interest in this idea in general, because people are kind of waking up and realizing that it's kind of a bit weird to give away money and not asking anything in return for it. I had one interesting conversation recently, and somebody said, like, why do you think it's a good time to do this now, right? Like, why now? And I think I actually have a pretty good answer to that. And it's has very much to do with this economic reform that we've been talking a lot about here, like the reduction in issuance of DOT, right?
Yep.
So this reduction of issuance of DOT is happening, right, as it looks, right? The details are yet to be hashed out, but I think we can be pretty certain that like a lower amount of DOT will be flowing into the treasury moving forward.
Yes.
And I guess one obvious response is, Jay, you always talk about this fiscal responsibility. And I think one of the more obvious ways to be fiscally responsible as the treasury is to actually ask for something in return when you're giving away money to projects building on Polkadot. In the past, I guess, right, the treasury was very well filled, very flush, and dot price was obviously higher as well. So, I guess it made more sense to give out grants and say, hey, you guys run with it and you build something great and you stick on Polkadot, and, the treasury is not asking anything in return, right? Now that, the inflow of new dot is very likely going to decrease, I think it makes a lot of sense to ask for something in return. And the thing that you're asking in return is, of course, equity, right? We're talking about early stage investments here. So obviously, it is risky to do early stage investments, but risk, like sort of when somebody's asked to finance risk, then they are also supposed to have like a share in the upside, right? Like otherwise this equation doesn't really add up. And of course, I don't believe that like every single project that, through in VC bounty is gonna be like a home run and do like 10x or 100x. But I guess some of them will. Like statistically speaking, if you have like sort of maybe 30, 40 investments, then some of them are going to be financially successful, statistically speaking, and that would create like a very direct, very measurable new inflow of capital into the treasury, right? So this is again very much about the why I believe we should be doing this, and more importantly, why we should be doing this now, because the status quo is projects are just going to ask for grants, and I don't think that's what we should continue to do. So let me maybe break here and just open the floor for questions.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you very much. Do we have any questions or comments at this point? It's been a lengthy consultation period, which is very appropriate for something like this. Yeah, Angie. Yeah, I'd love to hear from you on this one.
No, I was just gonna. Yeah, I didn't want to cut you off, Jay, but I was just gonna ask. Can you just give us? There's been a lot of pushback. Can you just go through kind of how you respond to that? What is the biggest area of pushback you've heard, and how do you respond?
Thank you.
The question was, what's the biggest area of pushback, and how do you respond?
Yes.
Actually, so far I haven't had any major major pushback yet, it seems. I mean, okay, I guess, well, it wasn't really like a pushback yet, but I guess one obvious question that will come up is curator selection. And so far I haven't really we haven't put forward any curators. I mean, I guess I'm putting myself forward as one of the curators, but it will only be like one in a 4 out of 5 threshold bounty. I mean, with curators, obviously it gets very political. We know this from other bounties as well. Everyone has to overcome this, in one way or another, by selecting people that are respected in the ecosystem, that are known in the ecosystem, and that understand something about the investment space, right? So here's a bit of a, I guess, like some sort of trilemma here, because you want people that understand the investing space, that have done VC in the past, that understand things such as term sheet negotiations, right? That's probably like the most important skill, right? Because you usually don't take the first offer that like a project gives, but you negotiate on the valuation, you negotiate on the terms. I guess that's like sort of an important skill set. But then on the other hand, you also want like people that are known and respected in the ecosystem. So no decision has been reached here. This is also part of the public consultation period. Anybody who is listening to this call here and who thinks they are qualified to be a curator in something like this, please text me, right? And we hop on a call or like respond to the forum post. I have had like conversations with like potential curators already. I'm not going to name any names for now, but it has to be somebody at the end of the day. Who it is, I personally don't care. I mean, I guess one thing that I could say is like I want them to be as independent of Harbor Industrial Capital as possible, right? So that nobody can say like, oh yeah, it's just like, you know, Max and his buddies running this, but like have like, you know, actually independent people on the curator role. Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
90 seconds.
I was just going to say the pushback that I've got to building the game's publisher is it is for profit theoretically, and that's not something that the Treasury should be in the business of. And my response is,
I think it should be.
but we need to
in
be
the
able to
business
give
of doing
money.
that.
But we need
Exactly.
to
Yeah.
be able to
Because
have a sustainable model. That's my response.
exactly. No, absolutely. And I think the Treasury needs a sustainable model, right? Because with inflation or like issuance being cut, you know, I mean, trees don't grow to the sky, right? We all like spending money from the Treasury. I think this is probably one of the first proposals ever that actually has like an actual pathway of increasing like new inflows into the Treasury by investing in successful projects that are building on Polkadot. So yeah, I mean, you know, it's always nice to say like, oh, we're not for profit, but at the end of the day, the Treasury is also some sort of an entity that has to be financially sustainable.
No, by cutting issuance, we actually need to be for profit as an ecosystem, of course.
Yeah.
Angie, by the way, looking forward to hearing more about the results of your game publishing initiative, because that's gonna
Very
be
soon.
very good.
Yeah.
Florentina, in our last few seconds, let's hear what you have to say.
Yes, first, I agree, Max. Having some kind of ROI for the Treasury would be really good. I was wondering if you've had any feedback regarding your question on the forum about whether one global bounty or multiple regional bounties with different local curators or a set of curators that represent maybe different regions.
It's still an open question, right? I mean, in a way, I would prefer like the regional bounties, but it just creates more admin work, I guess. But you know, obviously, like local expertise is very valuable, and it would also be a more, I guess, decentralized approach overall. So you know, I'm still open to both approaches, and I'd love to hear like what everybody else thinks on this.
Okay, well, we're at time here. Max, thanks for coming on. Appreciate the initiative, and
Thank you.
The consultation's been great so far. Thank you very much. Let's look at some refs on the go that we've spoken about previously. We do have Zoe on the show, and you know, Zoe, the vote has mostly come in here from the DVs, wholeheartedly on the nay side, unfortunately here. You do have Saxonburg on the I side, but yeah, the support is a little scant on this project. What's going on here? Did you want to say anything today?
Yeah, hey guys, thanks for having me on again. I don't have a presentation today. I think I used the previous 2 months excessively to showcase the product. I'm Zoe, founder of Claris AI and long-term Polkadot contributor. I'm also joined today by Chris, our head of AI. If there are any technical questions that have came up, so please use the 8 or 7 minutes to raise some of your questions. And yeah, I wanted to just maybe to summarize what we have done, although it's the second or the first resubmission, the second proposal on Claris, we want to just also argue that we still believe in the product. We hope to find other ways to finance this and to bring this to the Polkadot community because AI in governance does make sense. I think it's very positive to see that people don't question the AI term anymore. We have seen and we have heard the community. We have adjusted the feedback from the first proposal in first cutting the budget. We've opened up the MVP. We gave access like a month ago. And we also showed that we have ecosystem collaboration. So all of this was criticized, we implemented it, and now people just criticize more like a revenue model or still say that the costs are too high. That are things that we need to figure out on different ways. So just wanted to state that we are still optimistic and that the feedback, of course, we value it. And if there are any specific questions that we can answer right now, that we are happy to take them.
Great. So you bring a great attitude to OpenGov. Definitely admirable. A lot of people could use it. But thank you very much for that. Do we have any questions? So we have Chris here. Welcome, sir. Or Matt, I'm sorry. To the show. Do we have any questions or comments?
Do we have any questions or comments?
Yes, Chris. Hello.
Hello. Hi everyone. My name is Chris. I am with the Claris and currently leading the product. And so yeah, I'd be happy to answer any of the couple of questions if you have regarding technicalities of the Claris.
Tommy, you look
Sorry,
a little confused. Any questions?
Yeah, that sounds like a weird filter you're having there.
yeah, maybe it's just something some little misconfiguration of my excellence, maybe.
What?
Come again, Chris?
You come again, Chris? Yeah, so I was saying that might be because of the different browser I'm using. Yep.
What's going on?
What's going on?
What's going on?
Okay,
You know
maybe
what, Kevin?
technical questions in written form, and then we can reply to this. It's a bit funny right now, but I think what's there a technical question from your side, Tommy?
No.
Okay.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, is it clear now?
Okay, much better.
Yeah, it was just some of the extension that I've installed previously. So yeah, so I was saying that I'm with the Claris AI and I am leading the AI that activities that's going on. So I'd be happy to answer any of the AI related questions that you might have on the technical side of Claris. Yeah.
All right. Do we have any technical questions? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so it looks like this decision period is going to wind down before the show next week, and we will await further developments on the Claris project. Chris, thanks for being here, and Zoe as well.
Thank you, guys.
We'll move on now just to look at a few more refs. We had Limo talking, I don't know if, oh yes, the DeFi infrastructure tooling bounty here, 1 million DOT. That's a big top up, but lots of support for the great work that Nico and the curators are doing over there, becoming even more important with Hub launch coming up, and they're always busy. I talk to, I hear their names a lot in conversations I have. I'm always surprised who Nico and crew are talking to. So 1 million DOT for them, that top up there. 500,000 DOT for events bounty. 100% support for this. 40 million DOT on the I side. Very, very nice for them. We had Caesar on the consultation of the Polkadot America, consolidation of the Polkadot Americas community and its contributions. We have some LATAM people on the call here. Is there any insight on what's going on here or why this is being so heavily rejected, or no ideas? Okay, Florentina, yeah, any insight?
Yeah, they actually came on AAG in Spanish last Friday to talk to the Spanish-speaking community a bit. We gave them some feedback, mostly regarding what is their plan long-term, since this is requesting retroactively what they did for a few months when they were very, very active. But for the past month and a half or so, they have not been active at all. So there were a lot of doubts on this side. But they are, it seems, coming up with a plan moving forward. So looking forward to see how they proceed or how they react to this.
Okay, I mean some good names here, definitely on the proposal, but okay, that's interesting to know that they haven't been so active, at least from what we've been able to see recently.
Sorry, at the beginning they were very active
Yeah.
and they seem to be having a lot of engagement, but this has faded out, and then they have stopped producing the lives that they were doing. They were like 3 or 4 programs per week, like 1 hour, 1 hour and a half. So there was a lot of content being created, and it stopped suddenly. So they were taking a break to, I don't know, understand where they're going, setting their priorities straight. So I'm just looking forward to see how they want to proceed.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks for that. The proposal to continue the DCAs into USDC and USDT. This is enjoying 96.3% support halfway through the decision period. And this is, oh yeah, it's on the root track. So this is still not confirming for another 12 and a half days. But yeah, that's very good to see the support there. Finally, talking about the hard, medium, and soft pressure issuance schedules that are up for vote. Soft pressure, 0.1% support. Well, it's kind of interesting to look at the dot support. So 24.2 thousand dot on the I side. Medium a little bit more, 187.55 dot on the I side. But hard pressure is taking it away here. I'm looking for that sweet 80-20 split. We're currently at 79.1% support with 21.06 million dot on the I side. Looks like this is where we're going to be going. This is entering confirmation period in 1 day, 19 hours, and should be through its confirmation period Sunday morning Eastern time, Sunday afternoon Euro time. And then, wow, then that would be very big. So we have the code to set this supply schedule, and it's currently under review by members of the fellowship, and we're going to try to get it into a 1.8.1 patch. So after 1.1 runtime upgrade, we'll maybe do a little patch and set this schedule. If that all goes well, then maybe by mid-October, we can say the DOT token is capped at 2.1 billion DOT, which is big news. And then we have until March 14th to figure out some security measures before the first step down of 53-ish%, which will be a significant issuance drop. So yeah, I mean, how are people feeling about this decision of the DAO? It's not exactly how I thought it would go, but here we are. Tommy, how are you feeling, sir?
Sorry, what?
How are you feeling about hard pressure issuance schedule?
I will just see what happens. I was worried, but maybe I was thinking maybe I worried too much. So we will see what happens.
Yeah, I'm not worried, but it is pressure. It's a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, Gavin is confident, and Gavin has one of the most long-term perspectives on everything in the ecosystem. So if Gavin is not too worried, I guess it will be fine.
Yeah, cool.
Let's see.
If everything goes badly, we can always just all retreat to the Polkadot Palace and start a commune or something. Max, what do you think?
Getting my tattoo ready.
No, I'll also just quickly, speak out in favor of the hard pressure model. I think it's really, way overdue, and I think we need it, right? I think we need this sort of fiscal responsibility. The other day on another call, I kind of compared it a little bit with this debate with sort of the difference between Keynesian economics and Austrian economics. And, I guess Austrians, and I happen to be Austrian, they're all in for kind of the hard cure that, some heavy spending by the treasury or the central bank does not really make particularly much sense. And that sometimes you just have to eat the hard medicine. Bitcoiners are generally speaking also Austrian economists, and I think this is kind of the direction in which the treasury is being sent here if we're voting in the hard pressure model. So yeah, big support from my side. Yeah. Yeah. I had an interesting conversation with somebody about this, sort of on a conceptual level, about this overpaying for security, right? That Gavin has been talking about. Because in a way, you always want to be the most secure network, right? We take a lot of pride by saying, yes, we're really secure. Polkadot is really secure. But then, if you think about it, of course, there is such a notion of overpaying for security, right? I was talking with a friend, and he gave this example. Okay, imagine you're worried about your own personal security, and you hire a bodyguard, and you get a great bodyguard, and you pay him 100,000 a year. And okay, but you want to have a better security guard, and you get an ex-Navy SEAL guy, right? And you pay him $1 million a year, right? And he's your person, and he's a great bodyguard, right? And then if you, for whatever reason, still feel insecure, then you go out and try to find a bodyguard for $2 million, for $3 million, for $5 million. At some point, you're not gonna get more security by spending more, right? So there is diminishing return. You hit the ceiling, right? And I think at the moment with validator rewards, Polkadot is pretty far above that ceiling, right? So we're not actually getting more security for like paying more. So, you know, another way to put it is like we could reduce that budget, still get like maximum security, but like, you know, save money that can be used for other things. Mm. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And one more sentence about this. So, I mean, you know, I think, you know, having, well, inflation is the wrong word, but like issuance reduced is a really good thing. Is a really, because, and I think the right way, the right framing is the risk-free rate, right? The risk-free rate. So in traditional economics, when you talk about the risk-free rate, you're referring usually to treasury bills, right? That's what everything else has to compete against, right? No matter if it's like stock market investing or bond investing or venture investing, right? If treasury bills pay like a really high coupon, then why bother going out on the risk curve?
That's it.
And, you know, going into venture, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the situation we're in here as well. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about the audio cutout to our YouTube listeners there for a moment. Clicked the wrong button. Tommy, what did you want to add here? Max is saying all the smart stuff. Don't worry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So on the Twitter space yesterday, on our OpenGovWatch Twitter space yesterday, we also discussed the proof of personhood impact on the security. And I realized one way to think about it is if we are in the future going to secure the network through proof of personhood, it is a little bit like you have a currency to your personhood, which is like a soul-bound token that you cannot trade, right? So DOT is a tradable token, and so you can trade the security. And with proof of personhood, it is essentially because your reputation grows when you nominate for the right block producers. It's basically like a soul-bound token that you have as a reputation to your account. So this is really going in an interesting direction, and I'm wondering if we can make some kind of format happen where we can discuss all of those things, because I think we really need to give this space so that a lot of people can start thinking about all the implications of this.
Honestly, this game, this personhood reputation game, I'm kind of motivated to be successful at that game. Like, it's kind of cooler almost than putting my capital up. I don't know. I like that game, so it'd be cool when we can get there. Yes, but absolutely, we need a lot of public consultation and discussions. I think the next one, the next big thing is security enhancements. So I'm going to talk to Jonas about that and get some more opinions over there. Obviously, we need Gav's input as well. It's going to be very interesting. But look, by Monday's AAG show, we'll probably know what's going on here. And it's possible, but I'm doubting there's going to be some massive dot come in support of Medium at this point, without some nay pressure coming in to counteract it. So yeah, there we go. What a wild time. Anything else we want to talk about today before we leave? Yes, Shankar, what's up, dude?
Hey, hello.
Hey, man.
So can you hear me?
Yeah, welcome.
Oh, I want to talk about the micro SR 25519 package. So recently, the auditing was concluded and we drafted a report. If you don't mind, I will quickly walk through it.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Can you just please give people a little context in what you're talking about, and then
Yeah,
give us the update?
sure. Okay, I will share my screen real quick. So in the Polkadot ecosystem, almost all the parachains, whether they are common good chains, then commercial parachains, solo chains, all of them basically were dependent on a WASM binary, which is by Web3 Foundation, the Snorkel implementation, the primary fork from the Edward curve. And there was no equivalent of it in the native TypeScript, JavaScript library. So what we basically saw while researching about a potential project is that this is something which was missing. So we discovered how this is being handled on the Edward side. So Paul Miller is the one who has this Edward curve for the ED25519. So we reached out to him, and basically requested him if he will be willing to add the support for SR25519. And this was almost a year back. It's been a while. The development didn't took much of time, less than, I guess, 3 weeks or even less than that. And then came the auditing part, right? So in the auditing phase, we had to go through multiple options. We thoroughly researched about the potential audit firms and their offerings. And then we finalized this proposal for Oak Security, which was proposed to Dotpel Bounty. So this is the report that we drafted for Dotpel Bounty. They requested us to give the trace of funds. So we thought, why not draft a proper report documenting all the things we did so far. I'm sharing this real quick in the chat as well. So this actually started from 10th March. Before 10th March, the development phase was there. And also the 10th March is when the development was done. So we were ready to do the scouting for the auditing firms. And then you can see all the timelines over here. And on 23rd of the August, basically last month, we got the report published from the Oak Security side. So this concludes the two-phase approach of auditing. So initial audit was done by them quite a while back, and then the implementation was tested across different potential apps. For example, Polkadot JS actually got a new pull request from Paul Miller himself. So he actually drafted a pull request basically voluntarily. This was not covered in his development effort, and he basically wanted the adoption. Speaking about adoption, this is already adopted by the Polkadot Labs HDKD, which also like somewhat benefited indirectly Poppy. So most of the ecosystem who uses Poppy or Polkadot HDKD already are using this micro SR25519 package, which was pre-auditing. And now after the auditing, now it is named as SCure SR25519 package. And this is something which we can see over here. So Paul Miller gave two options. Currently, this package has two usable releases. So this latest one is 0.3, which is ESM only package, which we can't really implement at Polkadot JS yet, because Polkadot JS needs to migrate to the node version 21st, and then they can adopt this ESM only package. But before that, this package 0.2 can be utilized. As per the audit, it is safe to use, and this is something we also notified to the maintainers of the Polkadot JS. So this is something we are expecting from there. Now back to the report. So you can see all the invoices, service agreements, payment receipts, reports in the version 1 phase of the audit, then version 2 of the audit, mono folder where you can find all these documents together. Trace of funds, like which was requested by the Dotpel Bounty, and distributor sub-DAO's role. Now, this was not incentivized through Dotpel, and our like previous efforts as well, whether finding the lack of this package or need for this package, and then reaching out to Paul Miller, inviting him, doing all this process in both the proposals, whether the OpenGo proposal where it was funded directly the development, and then this then the Dotpel Bounty proposal. In both the proposals, distributor sub-DAO were not incentivized by any means. So now that the whole process is done, development and the auditing completely, now we are looking to draft a proposal. So we'll be pushing this on Polga assembly pretty soon. So we determine the total number of hours contributed from our end throughout 1 year. We never anticipated it to be 1 year, but it took this much time. And this is basically like on an average 9 hours per month per contributor. So 6 of us who contributed to make this happen throughout this period. And I will share this link as well in the chat. So if anyone wants to have a look, give some feedback. But yeah, I'm looking forward to questions if anyone have.
Very thorough and professional display of the whole history there. Thanks, Shankar. Any questions or comments here? This is a pre-discussion discussion, actually, I think. Good tracking, like good organization here. That's very nice to see. Thanks, Shankar. All right. Okay, let's move here. Is there anything else people want to discuss before we head out? We good? I just want to say real quick, point out that the Subsquare Fellowship support milestone 3 is kind of on the line here with about a week left. It's a 50-50 split. But Polk Assembly also had a fellowship UI thing that they put in, but they just retracted actually. I think there's some calls to put this stuff through the fellowship treasury instead of through the main treasury. Kind of makes sense. But I am watching that to see how this resolves because could go either way. And we don't have any confirming refs this week, but because we missed ref gone by, a few interesting ones from last week. Basti, despite the delay of Basti blocks, has been retained as rank 6 in the fellowship. Basti, 100% support. Almost no obstacles in the way here to maintain rank 6 of the fellowship. So congratulations to Basti there. And big news, although this is expected, the OpenGov adjustments that are really going to change the game a lot, make it a lot harder to get refs through. They have been accepted on the Wish for Change track. So 96.2% in favor of these proposed changes to parameters around different tracks. The key one here is going to be reducing the amount of refs we can have open on each track and raising the bar for the amount of dot participating, raw dot before conviction participating in order for ref to pass. So that's a new bar that we're going to be monitoring on the show, and that proposals have to clear if they want to get an approved proposal. So that's going to be very interesting. I think the code is on its way to a runtime near you. But that's the show, guys. Thanks very much for being here. One of my favorite moments of the week is doing this show, so I'm glad to be back and have everybody here. We'll be back on Monday for AAG. Space Monkey Sunday, we are back with John, who we had on the show here, talking a little bit about Mangata. Wait, Mangata? No, Magenta. Ouch! That's a blast from the past. Magenta. I'm sorry. Magenta Labs, great guys who I get to speak to frequently. And also on the Space Monkeys front, kind of having to do with the supply cap and all that, I am arranging a little tour of the States this month to speak with some of the original funds who invested in DOT. Some who still have their bags, some who don't, but have a lot of insight on the industry at large. But we're going to do a little bit of a VC moment for a few weeks on Space Monkeys, which, I don't know, seems like good timing with the whole supply thing. So do look out for that. Thanks very much, everybody, for being here, participating. We'll see you next week. Until then, have a great weekend.